All right, let's talk about something we all trust, but maybe shouldn't. Our most critical buildings, our hospitals and aged care facilities. We assume they're safe. But what happens when the very systems that control the lights, the air, the security, what happens when they become the new front line for cyber attacks? This is a huge and honestly an often overlooked threat, so let's dive right in.
Just picture this for a second. This isn't some plot from a Hollywood thriller. This is a real-world nightmare that facilities are facing right now. It shows a terrifying new reality. Attacking a building, its physical systems, can be just as devastating as stealing the patient data inside of it.
And if you're thinking this is some rare, one-in-a-million problem, think again, not even close. A recent analysis found that a staggering 75%, three-quarters, of organizations with these building management systems have known vulnerabilities that are actively being exploited. So what's that mean? It means 3 out of every 4 of these smart buildings are basically walking around with a giant digital target on their back.
Okay, so let's get real for a minute. What does this threat actually look like? Because this isn't just theory. Oh no, we've got concrete, incredibly costly, and flat-out dangerous examples of attacks that have already happened.
You don't have to look far. Take the massive attack on Johnson Controls just last year. Now, Johnson Controls is a giant in this space. Their systems run everything in hospitals all over the world. A ransomware gang got in and stole 27 terabytes of data. We're talking sensitive hospital floor plans, the works. And the financial hit was just immense. They demanded $51 million in ransom, and the company still had to spend $27 million just to clean up the mess. It just goes to show how one single breach can cause a massive domino effect across the entire healthcare sector.
So you might be wondering, how is this even possible? Well, this right here, this is the heart of the problem. Most of these systems communicate using a protocol called BACnet, which was designed way back in 1995. Think about what tech was like in 1995. We had dial-up modems and Windows 95. This protocol was built for a world where these networks were completely isolated, totally cut off from the internet. So it has zero built-in security, no encryption, no way to even check who's sending the commands. It means that once an attacker gets on the network, they can literally speak the building's language and tell it to do whatever they want.
All right, so we've talked about the tech and the money, but let's connect this back to the human cost. Because when these systems get hacked in a hospital, the consequences aren't just measured in dollars, they're measured in human lives.
Yeah, this number, it's just chilling. A recent survey found that 53%, that's more than half, of healthcare organizations reported that their patient mortality rates went up after a cyber attack. Just let that sink in for a second. These are not IT problems, they are patient safety crises, period.
So how does a hack actually lead to something so tragic? Well, let's get specific. An attacker could remotely mess with the temperature and humidity in an operating room, creating the perfect environment for bacteria to grow. Or they could shut down the specialized air pressure systems that keep diseases contained in isolation wards. Or it could be as simple as cutting power to the refrigerators that store temperature-sensitive drugs like insulin, making them totally useless. The building itself literally becomes a weapon against the very people it's supposed to protect.
And this isn't just a what-if scenario. We've seen it happen all over the world and right here at home. In Finland, a cyber attack shut down the heat for residents in the middle of a freezing winter. Here in Australia, the attack on Uniting Care Queensland completely paralyzed hospitals, forcing them back to pen and paper for almost 2 months. And Regis Healthcare got hit with a ransomware attack that affected 65 of its aged care homes. It just shows the total operational chaos that follows one of these attacks.
So the big question is, why? Why are these critical, life-saving buildings so incredibly vulnerable to begin with? Well, it pretty much boils down to a few fundamental weaknesses that have come together to create a perfect storm for attackers.
It really comes down to 3 main culprits. First, a lot of the gear running these buildings is ancient by today's tech standards. Second, that invisible wall that used to separate the building's network, the OT network, from the main corporate IT network, yeah, that wall has pretty much crumbled. And third, and this one is just shocking, facilities are still making some of the most basic security mistakes, basically leaving the front door wide open.
And this comparison just says it all, doesn't it? Think about your laptop or phone. You probably replace it every 3 to 5 years, but the controllers for the HVAC, for the elevators, for the fire systems, those things are built to last for 20, 30, even 40 years. Now that's great for the budget, but it is an absolute disaster for security.
And I didn't get this, it is shockingly common to find critical hospital systems still running on Windows XP. Remember Windows XP?
That's an operating system that hasn't gotten a single security update in over a decade. It is the digital equivalent of showing up to a gunfight with a wooden shield.
And then there's this. This one is just mind-blowing. You know, sometimes the most complex hack comes down to the simplest human mistake. Security researchers are constantly finding critical building systems connected to the internet where the username is admin and the password is, wait for it, admin. It's like leaving the master key to the entire building sitting right on the front doormat for anyone to pick up.
Okay, so that was a lot of doom and gloom. I get it. But here's the good news. This is a solvable problem. It's not hopeless, far from it. There's actually a clear structured path that any organization can follow to seriously reduce their risk. So let's take a look at that roadmap.
The best way to tackle this is with a simple crawl, walk, run approach. You don't have to boil the ocean all at once. You start by crawling, doing the absolute basics you can do right now, like figure out what devices you even have on your network and for goodness sake, change those default passwords. Then you walk. You start deploying better tools to monitor what's going on. And finally you run. That's when you implement advanced strategies like zero trust, where nobody is trusted by default, and network microsegmentation. Breaking it down like this makes it all feel much more manageable. Now I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds really expensive. And you know what? It's an investment, for sure. But look at this chart. The business case couldn't be clearer. A full security program might cost in the hundreds of thousands, but the average cost of just one healthcare data breach, over $10 million. The two aren't even in the same league. The return on this investment isn't just about saving money, it's about organizational survival. And on top of all that, if the risk of a breach isn't enough to spur action, well, now the government is stepping in. Here in Australia, the Security of Critical Infrastructure Act, or the SOCI Act, now officially classifies healthcare as critical infrastructure. So this isn't just a good idea anymore, it's the law. And the penalties for not complying are absolutely massive. We're talking up to $50 million. All right, to wrap things up, let's look ahead for a minute. Because the bad guys, they never stand still. The threat landscape is always changing. Attackers are getting smarter, and our defenses have to evolve just as fast to keep up. And the next big game changer is already here. It's artificial intelligence. AI is basically supercharging cyber attacks. Just look at the difference in phishing emails. A standard, old-school campaign might trick about 3% of people into clicking a bad link. An AI-powered one? A stunning 54%. That's insane. The attacks are getting more personal, more convincing, and way more effective. But here's the flip side. We can fight fire with fire. Just as AI is a weapon for attackers, it's an incredible tool for defenders. The new security toolkit uses these powerful concepts. Zero trust, which is basically trust no one, verify everything. We can use AI to spot weird behavior on the network that a human would never catch. And we can use microsegmentation to build digital walls inside the network, so even if an attacker gets in, they're trapped and can't move around.
So, it all comes down to this one simple question. Because this is the choice that every single healthcare and aged care facility is facing today. This has gone way beyond an IT issue. This is a patient safety crisis. So, will you make the calm, rational decision to prepare for the storm now while the sun is still shining? Or will you be forced to make panicked, life-or-death decisions in the middle of a hurricane? The choice is yours. Thanks for watching.